Okay, today we are going to build. We're going to build a medical center, and I had heard that Potemacare was wanting to kind of expand out, so we are going to give them the opportunity to expand here. And so we need to create a place for this to happen. So what we are going to do is use up this space back here, and hopefully we will have the room. And my intention is to make a space that uh, is part barn and then part of the normal wood area. So it'll look kind of like a barn had been constructed and um, damage had happened, and so it needed to be repurposed. So that is what we're going to do, and hopefully that will work out well for us. One of the things that I wanted to do was use the barn doors to do that, and so that would allow us or give us the opportunity uh, to kind of experiment a little bit. One of the things I'd like to try to do is um, put in as if that those walls had been patched. So what we will do is, and this is not going to go. So we've already got to make some adjustments here. So I think what we'll do is see about moving that these sections over here. And before we proceed too far, let's make sure that we can get our walls on the back. At this point, it doesn't really matter what the walls are. I just want to make sure they all go in the back, and so everything fits in there, and everything fits in here. Okay, good. We'll just store those again and proceed with what we were doing. Okay, so again, I'm going to put the frames for the barn doors here, but I'm not going to put the barn doors in. I'm gonna try to patch that up with some of the wood walls and make it look as if that process was the barn doors had fallen off or been destroyed or something along those lines, and as a result um, as a result we would need to um, patch it in or something along those lines. So I don't know if I need to go about this whole process like this, but we'll give it a shot. So I want to put in two doors and kind of make it look as if this door was a normal door, and then what we're going to do is put in this massively damaged wall, and we are going to put in this partially damaged wall. And so the idea would be that we would have a big barn door here, and then um, kind of a little entryway with two doors, one going into, say, a workshop, and another door coming into this other area. And we might just put like an office where what we'll do is we'll make this kind of the reception area type of thing. And we may even kind of cover up that door so it doesn't work, but um, that is my idea anyway. So let's continue on with some walls, and we'll go ahead and put some damaged ones in here. Add a little character to things, um, and that kind of stuff. And maybe we could even um, board up some of those as well, just to add a little bit of character and that kind of thing. So let's see how we can proceed along through here. And let's go with a small window. I don't want that much damage in it though. Don't want that much damage in it, so we'll just go ahead and go with that small window, and we'll put another small window in here, and we'll just do a normal wall back here. Did I go in? Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and build in our office. And what we're going to do with the office is we're just going to make kind of the reception area, and then you would just kind of proceed through here to the to into the clinic type of thing. So we'll leave this area open and that kind of thing. So, but because of the fact that I want to do a second story, we are going to need to put some of these floors in here for the second story, and I'm gonna need to figure out how to go about with um, the stairs. So let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to do the stairs. And this wall may lend itself, I think, well to the stairs right here. Yeah, and so this will be our second story. So let's go ahead and move on with the floors and put those in and see how that goes. Can we walk up the stairs? We should be able to. Yes. Alright, so now we are on the second story, and here we're going to work on using some of our older items, our older walls, and that type of thing, just to you know mix things up, add a little character, that kind of thing, and generally just kind of see how things work. Wanted to you know wanted to just kind of test this out and see if it was going to be something that would be worthwhile. And maybe here we could do. I think we'll have to get rid of this one, and let's put in. Let's put this one, Mr. Skinny, in here. Let's put him in there, and then we can see about putting a window in. I like to call these the windows. So let's see if this will, and it won't. But we can still do a window by putting the door in. Oh, and it doesn't want to go either. Well, that is very disappointing. So let's just continue with our walls then. We'll go ahead and put a doorway there, and we'll make a window out of that. That seems like a pretty good idea. And I don't really feel like Potemacare is going to need a lot of space here. I feel like they're going to have plenty of space. It's just going to be kind of a an outreach clinic or something along those lines. So I don't anticipate them needing this huge space here. It's more of just to make sure that the people here at Far Harbor have an opportunity for some good medicine and that type of thing. So let's give them that opportunity here. And the unfortunate thing with using these roofs or these walls is that we do not have roofs. That we can't use the barn roofs, which is unfortunate. I really do like the barn roofs, but that's okay. I will not be brokenhearted. We can still use these roofs and just kind of fill everything in here and try not to fall down. Alright, and so here, the one thing about making anything more than too deep, too uh, big blocks deep is the fact that you don't have a good way to put in the roof for the old roof system, so you're kind of stuck with what you got. And fortunately, it's big enough and tall, going to be tall enough that I think I have a few stray roof pieces on the outside, so we'll have to get those cleaned up. Alright, so we have our roof in. We have our space. Let's go ahead and let's get a wall or something up here. Let's just see if we can. We'll do a couple pieces of wall. There we go. And here, let's see if we can. We'll just go with the metal wall. Just continue on with adding some character. And unfortunately, they still have no desire to give us half wall being one single square, so we can't put anything up there, but this will give us some decent space. Alright, so let's have a quick look and see how we look from the outside. Oh, this is very rough and ready. I like it. It's definitely different and unusual, and looks like something that had started as maybe a big shop area or something like that, being this is a lumber yard. So we had a shop area where maybe some vehicles could have been pulled in here for maintenance or something like that. But it has, the top had been ripped apart, and we rebuilt the top. So let's put a couple of these out here, and let's see if we can't get these in place. So no. Alright, so here comes floor number one, or wall number one. Alright, so let's kind of get this in here, and let's see if we can't get a little closer, make sure that we're going in kind of straight. That would help the whole process if we keep it straight. And I think the beauty of this will be, if we do it right, we can kind of mix and match some items and add some additional texture to things, and that kind of stuff. So let's have a quick look, see what that looks like out here. Hard to see with this lack of light, but so far so good, I think. And let's pick some other walls. Add to the, maybe we could, yeah, we'll go with the walls. Let's add this junky one. This will add some texture for sure. So to add this one, we're going to need to be able to elevate it. So I think what we'll do is we'll put our concrete post in, and we'll sink it down a little bit, kind of like this, and then when we pick it up, we can raise it up and down. So now we can kind of back this in and hopefully get this to kind of patch in there. Let's go up a little bit. Alright, let's see how this looks. May need to do some adjusting as we go. Yeah, let's do some adjusting. Let's put this one, we'll put that one down first, so we'll have it on the ground, and then we'll put the middle one over the top. Let's see if that works. Let's see. This isn't really cooperating. There we go. Alright. this one put in. Alright. And this one may not cooperate as readily because this wall is not the most friendly wall, as many of you already know. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Okay, helps to get out the door. Oh yeah, yeah, I like that. And then let's go back to our walls and let's put in one of these. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll do this one as one that we can raise up and down. This one should be a little bit more user friendly. So let's give it a shot. Oh, a bit closer. Oh, don't go too close. Alright, let's see how this goes. And okay, we need to drop this down, and there we go. Let's put it over here so we can kind of mix some of the, there we go. Let's see what this looks like. And then from here, not bad. Let's go with this one, which this one lends itself to this type of thing, I think, quite well. And then I've got a bit of an idea of what we can do on the front to even kind of add to that. This whole illusion. So let's see how this looks. Now see, that wall went in perfectly. That did exactly what we wanted. The only thing is with this one, it's kind of sticking out a bit, and I don't care for that at all. So because of the fact that we have a couple different textures here, let's go ahead and go with another one of these and use that. So the idea it is just to patch it, make it look even more kind of rickety than what it really is, but at the same time having having it actually patched all the way up. So we're having a bit of difficulty here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Right there. Let's see how that goes. Yep, see, it blended in pretty well in here. And let's see how it looks out here. Blends in pretty well out here too, actually. And so another option would have been to maybe put in a junk fence or something like that right in the front, but looks like we don't really need to. So here I'm decided to speed this up. This was a very long video, and so here I'm just putting up a bunch of lights. As you can see, these lights, I really like them. I think they look really cool, but I have a lot of issues with these lights. I don't know why. They just don't seem to want to go in wherever I want to put them. So, I mean, obviously I could get some in, but there's some that just seem to be way too difficult. And I wanted to add some additional lighting to just kind of really, I don't want a dark and dingy type clinic here. So, and we added a chandelier type of thing to kind of add a little class, So threw in some additional lights, and now we're upstairs. This will be where the ward is, or the beds were, and that type of thing. So we're going to add some lights around and that type of thing. So once we get all the lights in, then we'll start moving towards connecting the power up, which does take a little while. But we kind of add a fair amount of lights, and we're going to move some a little bit later on and that kind of thing. So uh, here I need to get up on the roof because one of the things, and I fell my first attempt, but one of the things when you have a larger building, one of the things that I've always found, because your conduits are only going to go about 2 squares, unless you're using some sort of a mod. They're only going to go about 2 squares. So, especially in the roofs, I like to put a conduit kind of like in the middle. Maybe, depending on the size of the building, you might put two, just to make sure that you get the center area kind of covered. And then when I'm putting the conduits around on the outside, I put them right in the middle between the top floor and the bottom floor, for obviously multi-story buildings. If you put them between the 2 stories, then you get the top and the bottom. You get that covered pretty well, and then you just try to stay within about the 2 block area to make sure that you have good coverage for all of your power conduits. And so I'm going to put some up here, and then you'll see later, I'll eventually kind of move a couple of these conduits. I kind of come up with an idea a little bit later on, but now I get all of these wired up, and we have lights inside of the building. Yay! That's a pretty good deal. So it is kind of dark, so we do add a few more lights in here, and then I'm going to start putting in some walls upstairs as well. And I wanted to find a door that would be warm and inviting and say, "Come on in, get your health care taken care of." And here I'm patching up the one doorway that goes actually on the inside. It goes right by the steps. I kind of mentioned that before. I was going to patch in the doorway, but I went ahead and got that patched. And here like I said, I'm going to move these conduits, and I end up having to disconnect this wire because I couldn't move the conduit any place that would make it convenient. But if I put that half wall up there, it gives me the ability to put in my letters, my signage. So here I get to put in. I'm going to label this for Potemacare, the Potemacare Clinic, and this will be kind of like a field clinic type of thing. So really kind of giving the long arm of Potemacare all throughout the wasteland. So you never know, maybe Potemacare will find its way down into the capital wasteland, and all those types of things. So one of the things that Vic has always shown was on those neon lights, you can stack them and make them brighter and stuff like that. But I haven't really played around with them a lot. But those I did. I have just kind of started using those. So here I just put in a handful of beds. I don't want to kind of crowd it with beds or anything. So and then I'm putting in these kind of these plain Jane wood walls just to kind of add some dividers. I don't want to create separate rooms, but hospitals would have, normally they'd have curtains, but we don't have any curtains, and I could probably get a mod for some sort of curtain, but the last ones that I saw were kind of little partial curtains, and they wouldn't have really worked anyway. So I noticed that these small rooms were kind of dark, so I added a couple extra little lights. And here I'm going to put, each bed's going to get their own little table, and I'm going to give everyone a chair. And so I just kind of went with kind of the same basic chair, but you notice the first one I put in, and then this one here, it's kind of got the backing where it's kind of falling off. So, and then finally we come down to where we're going to put in kind of the nurses station, a little office for the nurses station, and I realized I was going to have to rug glitch this in, and I don't know what the deal was, but I could not get this file cabinet to rug glitch. I actually had to put 2 rugs on, and then it still didn't want to go, and I had to really move it up basically towards where it would touch the first one. And so I did finally get it in there, but I was highly confused as to what was causing that kind of an issue. And I always like to kind of leave the chairs out in case somebody actually wants to sit in them. sometimes the NPCs will just kind of run around and sit at different places. I actually got pretty lucky here. I put the milk machine up, and then this cabinet just fit right in there perfect. I couldn't have planned it any better if I wanted to. And I've never really done much with pictures, but you know, Lois Clayton has really kind of inspired me to put up some pictures. I did express my disconcern or my discontent or concerns or whatever the terminology would be here that I'm looking for. The fact that there's all these different cat pictures, and I'm a dog guy, and so I kind of like to see the dogs. And there's only one dog picture, and that's kind of disappointing. So um, I put in the reception area, and then I'm going to put in the waiting room, and I'm actually going to build a little, kind of a little office area, not an office, but a room for the doctor where he can see the people. A little kind of maybe a lunch area or something like that for people to sit around, that type of thing, and maybe you know kind of treat it as a semi-conference room. So I was going to try the half walls. I wasn't really caring for that, and then I realized the light was in the way. So then I get this nice little room, but then I decided, hey, let's put that half wall in here. I kept trying to turn it around so it'd be facing the right way, but ultimately I had to go in backwards. I put in a bed so you can lay down while the doctor is examining you, and you know, a little cabinet here and there, a little chair for the doctor to sit on, and a table for him to work off of. And so, a nice little visiting area. I think I forgot to put in a door. I should probably go back there and put in a door so that way you can kind of get a little bit of privacy while the doctor's attending to you or what have you, checking you out. So I labeled the counter here, just check in here, for those in the wasteland that can't actually still read. Not a lot of you know, schools and that kind of thing, but just in case people can read, we'll put up a sign here for them. And I'm going to look for some junk stuff. I don't have a lot, but we're going to drop some down here. Um, I could probably go to my workbench and find quite a bit more, but you know, that's what I had, so I'm going to put all that stuff out. And we're about to come up to normal speed, and we'll just kind of finish up the video from there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very roughly done video. I'm looking at 55 minutes, so I'm going to have to speed it up or split it up into parts. So don't be surprised if you see this split up into parts and or sped up, and then I will narrate over the top of it. Please click the buttons down below that say stuff like a like or a dislike or subscribe. Throw some words together and make sentences and tell me what you think in the comments section. And then that way I can have a good idea of what you guys think of what I'm doing, and maybe suggestions on what you think I could do better, maybe something to add to this, you know, that type of stuff. So that would be great. I would very much appreciate it, and thank you very much. Bye.